All right, another day on the Lotus Europa. What are we doing today? We're doing two things. We're doing, real quick, I took the dashboard out with all the gauges. We're just going to strip that down. If you want to skip past that, you can. It is what it is. It's just one of those steps you have to do. So I did it. And then we're going to jump on fiberglass because today we're getting those door jambs back in, fiberglassed and looking good. So it's going to be a lot of work, a lot of fiberglass work, a lot of cutting, a lot of stitching, a lot of patching. But you know what? We're just going to, let's just do it. Let's just get it done. And am I worried about the wiring? I'm not worried about the wiring at all. And I'll tell you why. Because I'm not going back with fuses. Where's the fuse panel? Here. No fuses, no relays. I'm going with a PDM unit, power distribution module. So this is going to all be rewired. It's going to simplify the wiring a lot, which I'm excited about. So yeah, I'm not really taking a lot of photos or paying attention to what goes where because rewiring the car is going to be pretty straightforward, pretty simple, and that'll be fun to do. I actually like that. I like wiring. Call me strange, but I do. I like it. What do we got? Got a switch with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terminals. I don't even know what that's for, but we'll figure it out. All right, fuse box is right there. Got another switch here. I'm going to go and take this one out. Here's a bunch of indicator lights. I did notice some of these are epoxied in. They look to be in pretty bad shape. I hope I can salvage them because I always have a hard time finding these indicators. I don't know what this gigantic thing is. What is that? Ah, that's the lights. There we go. We'll get to that in a second. I think I'll go after the speedometer and tachometer little plastic housing here. This looks like it's an aftermarket one. Probably guy replaced it last time. This car had some work done to it. I always wonder, these old cars, you know, you get into the early 70s, how many times have these things been, you know, restored? Not professionally, but, you know, somebody going in there, taking stuff apart, rewiring, probably multiple times over the years. It's almost like every time the car changes hands, the new owner wants to do some type of restoration on it. That seems to be the case. I guess I'll take these out later. Like I said, they're kind of, well, so left indicator and the brakes, if I can get these out without breaking them. Brakes. Ignition light is next. I don't care if I break this. I care if I break these. These are the ones I want to be careful of. Well, these seem to be okay. I know you can take these apart. I've done it before. Clean up that plastic face there so it's more translucent, easier to see. And then the last one's the right-hand turn signal. That's got a bunch of epoxy on it. So, oh, it came right out. Dry and brittle. Nice, but it's intact. Sweet. Those are still good. So I don't have to go searching the internet for those indicator lights. All right, now, where am I going next? Let me see. Holy moly. It's a rat's nest. This random switch was not attached. Wasn't screwed in, it was just kind of hanging out. What is this massive thing right here? It's Lucas. I have no idea what it is, but I will. I can certainly read up on it. I haven't done that yet. That's okay. You know, I don't worry too much taking these things apart, labeling everything. I know a lot of guys do. Wiring can be really intimidating. But I find that when you go to put the car back together again, if you're really digging into the wiring and redoing it, you go circuit by circuit, it takes the mystery out of everything. So I'm just disconnecting and going to throw the wiring harness aside because I don't think I'm going to reuse it. I'm excited about putting in the power distribution module, the PDM. I haven't done them before. It'll be the first one I do. And I'm reading up on them to learn more about them. But essentially, it's going to replace all of my fuses and my relays in the car. And what's better than that, it actually has a capability to use CAN bus if I want to do that for any particular reason. And on a laptop, you can go into this thing and you can assign the amperage to the different circuits, and you can assign the fail algorithms. So in other words, if a circuit fails, say you set it for 13 amps, it exceeds 13 amps, circuit fails, you can go back and say, okay, try it again, try it 2 times or try it 3 times. You can program all that in, which is really, really neat. So I'm looking forward to playing with that. All right, fuse box is disconnected. I need a Phillips head to get that out. The PDM is cool too because, say for instance, the cooling fans, which pull a lot of amperage, you can set the PDM up such that it slowly introduces the amps, so you don't get full amperage right away running to it, which can be damaging to the units. So you can, have it slowly increase the amperage over, a second or 2 seconds or whatever you really want to program in there. That's a super nice feature as well. So this has to be some kind of power distribution module because these are all the green wires. Green wires are typically sending power throughout the dashboard. That is nice about Lotus. They were consistent over the years with the coloring of wires. Maybe not, well, I don't know. It looks like this whole headlight switch has been redone. These are not standard Lotus wires. So I'll have to look into that a little bit more. All right, I need, looks like a 12 millimeter or 5/16 maybe? 7/16 nut on the back of this thing that I don't know what it is. I know it's got something to do with the power. But that's okay. I will find out. Oh, it's turning on the other side. And that's 5/16 as well. I don't know why I was saying 5/16. These are 7/16. It's my brain not really registering. My mouth and my brain, they don't always work together. My mouth seems to say whatever it wants. My brain's thinking something different. I don't know why that happens. All right. Yeah, this is it. I'm intrigued. I'm gonna find out what this is. Like I said, some kind of power distribution. But that's a guess. That's a guess. All right, going back over. Got a ground wire screwed into the back of the dash. A little brass screw. I'm going to take that out. Free up this wire. Save the little brass screw. Okay. What's up with these 2 switches? Oh, they're not switches. They're the flashers. Don't need these. That's the other thing. With the PDM, the flashers are integral to the unit. So these are going in the bin. But if they're good, I'll keep them. If they're still working, I will hold on to them because you never know. We are down to the headlight switch, and that is it. I think this is a power window switch. All right. Oh, there's a trick to these things. It's been a while since I've done one of these. If I remember right, I think you push in, then this knob comes out, and then you unscrew the bezel, and it comes out the back. I think. Oh, it's got a little screw here. Maybe it just unscrews. It's a little set screw in there. Yeah, the little bezel just unscrews, and then the unit will come out, but why aren't you coming off? Why? Why don't you want to come off? Should I just grab it and pull hard? That didn't work. Weird. I see what looks like threads. I wonder if it unscrews. Well, let me try this. Aha! It unscrews. Fantastic. Now, this ought to unscrew. Ta-da! And we got a dashboard wiring harness. Look at all those wires. My gosh. That's a lot of wires. It's going to be great to compare before and after. See how many wires we can actually get rid of. Well, I'm still going to go through this. I'll have to look at the wiring diagrams, but we're gonna redo everything on this. So the only thing left is a little pad here, and then the two brackets that hold it. There's some brackets on the dashboard. They're made out of fiberglass, little tabs that come down to this hole, this hole, this hole, this hole. Well, these two are broken off in the car, so I'm gonna have to re-fiberglass that, or I might use maybe modify it, use an aluminum kind of setup so I can mount to the aluminum. I don't know yet. I got to look at it. But that's thinking ahead. For now, I just want to get this pad off, and it looks like I need to undo all these little, take the nuts off these studs that seem to be holding it in place. So much on this car was finger tight. Whoever put it together last time, they're just like, ah, you know what, that's good enough. Because nothing. So many bolts have been so loose. Usually you're fighting and snapping studs. Not on this car. Everything's just been coming right off. Those three I'm going to need some mechanical advantage. So, oh, what size are those? So these are the 5/16 I kept saying earlier. Finally, I get to use my 5/16. Pop that one off. So the bracket comes off, and now this comes off. Super. So I'm going to vapor blast the brackets. I'm not going to powder coat these. I'm probably just going to paint them. Or I could send them out to zinc plate them. One of the two. But for now, they're going in the box. And that takes me over to these last two. I'm going to put these nuts back on here. I doubt I'll use these nuts. I know, I'm an idiot. I always like to get new stainless steel nuts and bolts for everything. Why? Is it necessary? No. I like it because it looks cool, it's clean. This is interesting. I guess there's some foam in here, but it seems like it's collapsed. It's really flat in some areas. So I think the plan is we're gonna surface this whole thing. I've got a wood chop out back, so I can take this back there. Honestly though, I don't know if I'm going back with the same configuration. I want to keep it looking stock, but I'm not going to have the fuses. And I need to figure out the center console situation to know how much dashboard I'm actually going to have visible. I'm going to keep these gauges like they are, but I don't know. Part of me wants to do backup camera with the larger screen, maybe right here in the middle. Or I could do a backup camera with a screen that appears on the rear view mirror. I've done that before too. I haven't decided. But I'm definitely going to keep the analog look. But she's stripped down, and that's great because now I can go through the gauges. I mean, everything fit in this box. So I can go through and clean everything up, restore everything, and have it ready to go when we put this back in the car. And also now, with this being so light, I can put it in the car itself so I can rework the tabs that it fastens to in the car so I can have a really nice secure mounting system to put it back in the car. All right, moving on. Next step. That's done. So here's the cart. You can see on the dashboard, I have about 2.5 tabs to hang the dash. There's one, that's missing, that's a half a tab, and I got that one over there, which is hanging on by a thread. So I have to reinforce all that. Luckily they also mount to the side, so that'll give it a lot of strength. I guess I want to take these vents out and see if I can replace these. If not, we'll 3D print some new ones. How's that door jamb looking? My gosh. I am really kind of bummed out. I have to cut all these out to get that roll bar out. Just kind of doing some prep work today on this. As you can see, it kind of grinding down all the inside there. So when it comes time to fiberglass it, I've got good surface to get good adhesion with the fiberglass, but there's a lot of voids. So I'm going to have to find a way to temporarily mount it on the car. So I'm going to use some sheet metal and some rivets maybe, or some wood screws, so I can position that door jamb and then start to get it back into place. Same deal with this one. I mean, it's just this is so disappointing. So disappointing. She wants to line up like that. So what I'm going to do is when I do get around to when I'm ready to put this in, I'll do some metal binding, aluminum, or some straps right there to hold it in place. Because what's key is I really want to keep this all on the same plane as it was originally. Start with that, and then get these as close as I can to the same plane down here, and then once I have that and I have a backing, if I could do like a very thin sheet metal backing behind that, then I can really grind it down and do the fiberglass properly, because I can't do the fiberglass from behind. So that's the challenge with the door jamb. That's a tricky little project. That's where I am. So when I cut this jamb back out, I cut a different line than what he cut originally. So I've got this little sliver piece. I want to use that, put that back in there. So I've got some aluminum strips, and I just screwed those in. And up there where one of the bars of the roll bar went, I just cut a piece of plywood, cardboard, and to fill that void so I could patch on top of it. And I did wax that so I can remove it pretty easily afterwards. So now I'm going to go ahead and give these some structural rigidity, put some fiberglass on there from this side. And then after that dries, I can go on the inside and really grind it down and build back a lot of strength. So a lot of patchwork, but let's do some fiberglass. Step 1, complete. Got some fiberglass patch in there now. She's drying. So we'll let that dry overnight, and then we'll continue on from there. This is the driver's side. Let's go to the passenger side. Very similar scenario on the passenger side. Same 2 aluminum brackets, because I had the same little sliver piece and the same hole from the roll bar. So that's fiberglass now. That's drying, and had to use some vice grips down there because the very tip of that little sliver just didn't want to sit parallel with the car body. So I had to use some encouragement. All right, that's the driver's side, and you can see right there the roll bar came through. And what I've done today is I ground down the fiberglass that is there and there. It's focusing on my finger. I ground that down so it's flush with the new fiberglass on the back. So now I can come in today and patch the back of this and get that nice and thick and strong. The very last thing I'm going to do once I get the jambs back in are those upper corners. So I'm starting to think about that as well. But I feel like I've got a plan, and I'm just now I'm just executing. So fiberglass work goes on. So being the great YouTuber I am, I filmed the making of this form in the corner of the Europa at the shop, and then I don't know what happened to it. I lost it. But anyway, so the form came right off, and I'm not concerned with this side because I'm not doing anything on this side. What I wanted was the back side. I'll show you that. This was the mold I got off that car, the donor car in the shop, and I'm on the driver's side right now. So, you know, I had this, is this the driver's side? Yeah, driver's side. So this was up in the corner. This is an outside mold. So the door jamb was actually on the back of this. So this is a little janked, but the back is nice and smooth. So what I did was then I took this and I did some lining up in the car and all that. And what I ended up with was placing this mold on here like that. And then I started the fiberglass work from behind, waxed this and then removed this. So now I've got my corner. Those yellow lines just distinguish where I need to cut it afterwards to fit it into the void in the door jamb. But I've got my corner, it's nice, I've got some good contouring, and I'm just in the process now of building up the back. Getting a little thickness here, so it's equal to the thickness of the original body on the car. So when I put it in the car, I can locate this, fasten it in place, and then I can come back and start, you know, grinding from the back, bring the thickness down so I can then patch and weave the two together. So this is the driver's side, and I'm in the process of the passenger side. Let me show you that. All right, so here on the passenger side, I have my mold that I got from the other car, and what I've done is locate this, what's left of this door jamb, back in the car. I've got some aluminum brackets underneath, I got another bracket underneath there, and I've got a bracket here, and I think I've located it really, really well. It's hard to know if you're perfect or not, so what I'm using as clues are this body line here as it comes across, and then this external sort of body line there that comes across. And I had to grind down to original fiberglass to get my elevations correct all the way around. And then this bracket is kind of holding it in place up here so I could fill this corner. So then I took my mold from the other car and I pop it up in here. And what's important is I push against that corner. I want to make sure I've got that corner seated perfectly, and it's really good. There's no rock or anything. And my lines for that weather stripping lip that goes around line up really well, top and bottom. And I've done a couple things. So I've marked with a yellow marker kind of where that is. So when I've got to tape this on here, and then I'll have to fiberglass from behind outside of the car. But I've also in yellow marked where the void is, so that's the area I really got to cover with fiberglass. And then I know I have a big void here. That's a straight line, straight plane. So not too worried about that. Once I get the corner in place, I might even extend the mold and just do it all at once. I haven't thought that far ahead. Right now it's been about lining this up correctly, getting this where it should be, where it wants to be, not forcing it, but just making sure that it's just like the other one. So this whole lip is on the same plane all the way around. I think I'm there. So I have my marks. So I took this back out. That looks really bad. I mean, at times, I feel like I'm building a Frankenstein car, which I kind of am. There's so much stitch work here, it's ridiculous. It's about time to fasten this to this, and then start working on that fiberglass on the back. So I'll have to unscrew all this and take this panel back out again to do it on the bench. But that's kind of what I did on the other side, same process. Man, am I hoping to get these jambs fiberglassed in today. I'm getting close. So the corner's really close. I've got aluminum plates behind the void. I got some screws holding everything in place. Got to put the vice grips back there to hold that weather stripping seam parallel. But I think I'm pretty much there. So my plan is, all the aluminum behind there is waxed. So after I lay the fiberglass, strategically around my screw heads, I can go in, once it dries, undo all the screws, and theoretically those aluminum sheets should fall out, or should come out with just a little tap, and I can do that through the access points in front of the rear wheel and behind the front wheel. So that's the plan. How it's going to execute, I don't know. I don't know. Good news, good news. So I got one coat. I've got this thing all located correctly, and I put the first layer of fiberglass in the void. It's hard to see. It's a thin layer. What I'm trying to do is let that set up, and then I can do some more sanding. And you know, it's just a process. It's step by step. You do something and you got to let it dry, and then you can do something else. I also have it fiberglassed on the inside. See if I can get the camera on that. All right, we're going to end this episode on a positive note. The jam's in. The jam is in. There it is. So it's looking really good. I got a couple layers of fiberglass on what used to be that crack, that void, that cut, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty strong, and it's drying. So the outside is all fiberglassed in, and the inside is as well. I'll show you that if I can reach. So there's the inside. Some of those areas were tough to get to, but it's all back together again. I still have some work to do in that upper corner, but that'll be the last thing I do. For now, it's looking pretty good. So I am happy with that. That is the end of this episode. I've been in fiberglass. Oh, God. Just too much fiberglass. That's all I can say. The driver's side is good. I still have to do some more work on the passenger side. But the next thing we're going to do is take care of the floors. We're going to reinforce the floors. We're going to put down additional mat, and we're going to reinforce the behind the seats, that big back area between the inside of the car and the engine. So we're going to hit that next episode. But hey, door jambs, I can almost check that one off the list. That's fantastic. All right, till next time, see ya.